Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am Captain Foley and this is another Eaglemoss product review. We've sort of kind of already done this ship. I've actually done the XL version of this one quite a while ago on the channel. So if you want to look it up, by all means, just look up XL and all the other keywords, Discoprize, Discovery, Enterprise, whatever. You'll find it. I'll also try to put the video at the end of this video so you guys can just click it and check it out if you haven't already. But today I've kind of given it away now. We're doing the Discovery Enterprise. This is the standard edition one. There is an XL version, like I said, that I've already reviewed. I thought I had reviewed this one, but apparently I haven't. So I'm going to give this one a quick review right now for you guys. So, the front of the box is great. Enterprise on there looking good. The Discovery stuff just looking Discovery-esque. Star Trek Discovery on the side, you got the ship there. On this side, you got another great shot of the ship. Pretty much the exact same shot as on the front of the box, but that's okay. And it just says the name of the ship and everything on there. So again, easily displayable on a shelf or whatever to show off, you know, the ship if you only have the box or if you want to keep it in the box. It's just good. Star Trek Discovery, name of the ship. I love when they put the name of the ship on the side of the box. They don't do that with all of them, which sucks when you put them on a shelf. Especially the regular collection, you think they could put the name on so you don't have to pull them all out to find the ship you're looking for, but for the Discovery ones they do that. And here at Star Trek Discovery, the official Starship collection. So lots of different ways to use the box if you want to keep it after you open it up, which is probably a good idea if you ever need to move it or anything. I know boxes take up a lot of room and they're kind of a pain, but at least they make them worth holding on to with what they do to them. So let's get into this one. Open it up and we got the magazine, the USS Enterprise, NCC 1701. Beautiful shot of the ship, and then you got some specs down here. Class Constitution, launched 23rd century, length 442.06 meters. So, a little bit too big, but instructions how to put it on stand as usual. Over here you got the USS Enterprise, and then a shot of it from the side. I really like this thing from the side. This is a beautiful design and should definitely have been the 2009 reboot Enterprise for JJ. I think I would have been a lot happier with that than the Ryan Church JJ Prize that we got, because it's lots of thoughts on that. This is a fantastic reboot design. Does it fit into Discovery, which is considered prime? Not at all. The size, the look, it's all totally wrong. But I don't hate the design. I think it's a good reimagined TOS Enterprise. Anyway, down here you've got some close-ups of the 3D model they used to make this model. And then you got some specifications here as usual. Class, Constitution, Affiliation, Federation, launched 23rd century, length 442.06 meters. So really nothing new that wasn't on the front. Alright, got a nice montage of ships, or views of the ship there. Some really nice ones to choose from, and it just looks fantastic. By the mid-23rd century, the USS Enterprise was commanded by Captain Christopher Pike. The Constitution-class USS Enterprise, NCC 1701, was a powerful and iconic Starfleet vessel in the 23rd century. So, in a reimagined 23rd century, or an alternate timeline, the disco timeline, if you will, the disco-verse. So, moving to the next page, beautiful shot of the ship from the top and from the back there, looking great. It is a fantastic design. John Eaves does some beautiful work. So, and this says the Enterprise's distinctive design comprised forward saucer section and powerful raised warp nacelles. Thanks. That was really helpful information. Of course, there's a lot more information down here. I'm not reading it all. I'm just reading the little snippets. I want to save some of the fun for when you guys get your own magazines. So there is another version of it. This one is the one that John Eaves initially designed and was signed off on to be used, which has the straight struts and the more white finish like we see in TOS, which would have been a lot better in my opinion. but once they signed off on it, they gave it to the visual effects people who changed it and altered the struts and the colors to be more realistic, I guess. But here it says, recreating Matt Jeffries' classic Enterprise design for Star Trek Discovery was a labor of love for the art department. The art department reasoned that the Discovery version of the Enterprise was the same ship that Kirk commanded at an earlier stage of its life, before several refits. Look, I don't have an issue with refits. We know that the cage came before what we see in Discovery because of the episode on Talos 4. However, sure, the struts could be refitted, fine, whatever. There's a lot of explanations. However, the size of the ship being nearly double the original size, so they upscaled the ship to this size and then downscaled it for Kirk. It makes no sense for a refit, but I digress. We've done a lot of videos talking about this, so. Discovery Enterprise version F, this says. And another 3/4 view down here. So this says, Todd Chernowski told Eves to move forward with version F. So Eves produced a more detailed set of drawings that showed exactly how he imagined this Enterprise would depart from the original, which he then passed on to Schneider. And Scott Snyder is the person he worked with. But yeah, there's a rough 3/4 view for details and line placement. And we've talked to Scott Snyder and John Eves. John Eves has been on the channel multiple times. We still have to talk to him about this design, but we will eventually. They got NDAs and stuff. They can't talk about a lot of this stuff yet. So, but yeah, really nice orthos. Up here you got a little view of it, and then another bottom view, which is really great. So, and that says, Schneider produced renders that showed the ship from a variety of angles so the team could imagine all of the details. And there you get to see those straight struts as per what we see in the cage and TOS. So, next page, another 3/4-ish view and a little orthos in the corner there. One of the biggest questions was what the exterior of the ship should look like. The team experimented with an Aztec pattern, but suggested that part of the ship could be left as like bare metal, like the Enterprise NX-01. Down here is another beautiful 3/4 shot of the ship as well. The new Enterprise combined details from the original, such as the design of the Bizarre collectors, with new elements that were designed for Discovery, such as the lights that shone on the registry. Nowhere in a designing of the original Enterprise should it ever say elements that were designed for Discovery should be added there. So, whatever. Hate me all you like, I don't care. We've done a lot of videos on this, and it's just my opinion. Here we got some nice close-ups of the back of the saucer with the airlock and the impulse engines, torpedo launchers, and shuttle bay. And it says, Snyder paid an enormous amount of attention to the details when he modeled the ship, from the exact look of the impulse engines to the interior of the shuttle bay. I wouldn't say the exact look of the impulse engines is the same as TOS, but I mean, hey, whatever. But the shuttle bay, the interior of the shuttle bay does look very, very good. I don't think we ever see it on camera though, or on screen, so. Next. There it is after it pulled up to Discovery. And I gotta say, that scene gave me goosebumps when I saw the red Bizarre collectors and the ship swoop down and you hear the music. It was a great finishing scene. And as for an reimagined universe or a discoverse, it was beautiful, perfect. But to say it's prime really ruined it for me. So, but there you go. They got the ship pulled up there. The Enterprise made its debut in the closing moments of Discovery's first season, hailing the USS Discovery before dropping out of warp. Here you got a shot of the shuttle bay doors with a staging area. And this one says, one of the modifications during the process involved creating an extended landing platform at the back of the shuttle bay, which I think is a great idea. A lot of ships that came later had that. The Titan has a nice staging area behind its shuttle bay. But it's a refit. It gets refitted to Kirk's at some point. Okay, whatever. Anyway, up here they got the Work B, which Discovery Work B. I do have the model. I'm not sure if I've done a review of that yet, though. But on the back, it's got a great shot of the ship from the top. And this, like I said, this design's fantastic. Really no real complaints with it, except it's a little bit too squat, in my opinion, from the front and the sides. But other than that, it looks fantastic. I really love the design. I just don't love that they say it's Prime in Discovery. So, but Eaglemoss did a good job. So we're here to look at the Eaglemoss model, not do a breakdown of the ship and its problems. So here's the little model. Not so little. I mean, size of a little bit bigger than my hand, but you see a lot of the details there. There's that profile, front, back, bottom. Got a lot of nice details that we're going to get into right now, so let's take a look at this. Moving to the registry number, it looks good. It's the proper font for the TOS era, which is nice. They've really kind of toned down the lights here, the lighting element, compared to what it is on the show. I prefer this look better because it's not as in your face as it was on the show, so that's really good. You can see it's got Aztecing as well as some darker gray rings around the outside. You got the standard markings that are on the TOS Enterprise, and even the ones from the cage, the one from the cage with this marking along the side here. You do have some phaser bank ball turret additions, which I think are a nice touch, much like the Starfleet Battles versions of the Constitution class. So that's fine. The bridge detailing, it doesn't raise up very high, but from the top looks good. Some of the window markings are a little bit misaligned, but that's okay. And on the front here you got the big view screen window, but it doesn't really look like a window there, so again, that's okay. Moving back here, I don't like the way that this is like a big bulked out section on this ship. I would prefer it be more like the original, but you know, it is what it is. It's a reimagined ship. So moving to the bottom of the saucer though, well actually we'll move to the edges first. You can see the windows and stuff in there. It's got quite an angle on this saucer, but you see the windows there. They're not exactly the same as the original Enterprise, and they're also not marked by the looks of it. There's 3 circles at the front here, just again like the original Enterprise, so that's nice. Going to the bottom of the saucer, you got the overall saucer looks really TOS from the bottom. You got lower planetary sensor dome there. Right in front of that you got the torpedo launchers, which we never got a real answer as to where the torpedoes came from in the TOS Enterprise, so that's a nice addition that I agree with. The dark ring around here, it looks also very good. And it also has the standard eyebrows, which were rumored to be landing legs that folded down for when the saucer separated and needed to land on a planet. So the registry numbers are great, printed the way they are. That's exactly how they were on TOS, so that is amazing. And just the Aztecing overall on the bottom. It's a nice looking bottom of a saucer. It's a great reimagined look. Moving to the back of the saucer now, you've got the impulse engines and this center darker part that has like an airlock. Again, perfect place for an airlock, but considering how the original Enterprise just had the impulse engines there, I'm not... It's fine. That's all I'll say. Moving to the sides there, you got the impulse engines on each side, lit up nice and red, looking really nice. This whole back deck area looks a little bit too bulky for me. But on the back of the saucer, underneath the impulse, or coming back from the impulse engines, are more like bulked out sections with some interesting details there. Then you got the neck of the saucer, the neck that attaches to the saucer, and it's not very tall compared to the TOS one, but you got some windows in there, and not a lot of overall detail really. The front of this neck has no real detail, and the back has a little bit of a stripe on it that carries along the spine. So there was a red stripe on the spine of the TOS Enterprise. So Moving to the front, the deflector. The deflector looks really, really good. It's molded in a nice kind of coppery gold plastic. Doesn't stick out very far, and the spike isn't flimsy that it's going to break off. It's got a nice bulk to it, so that's good. I think the actual one in the show has 2 little spikes that come out, but moving along to the side here, you got the beautiful TOS pennant, exactly how a TOS pennant should look, so that's spot on. The Aztecing on the secondary hull is nice, as are the panel lines. I think it all looks really, really slick. Very nice added upscale detail of what we see in TOS. And then the windows there. All the windows are on apparently because they're all lit up white, but that's okay. So you see those moving from the front all the way to the back. On the back of the spine, like I said, you got that stripe. You got some darker highlighted areas which look really fantastic as well. And that feeds back into the shuttle bay. There you got the shuttle bay doors and that staging area, which the TOS Enterprise doesn't have. They would have pushed that back if they refitted this into the TOS one. They would refit that, and they would also change the shape of this scoop out here. Speaking of the scoop out, on the bottom you got a nice darker gray stripe and excellent panel lines. And then the bottom of the secondary hull, it's more of the same. You got some of the original TOS markings. They're just not highlighted in yellow and red like they are in TOS, but they're like a darker gray. They got some white there and some really nice details there to show off. So now moving to the struts. The outside of the struts don't have a lot of detail actually. They've got this little cutout in the middle. They got a darker section at the front of the strut. So not much going on the outside. Now the inside looks really nice. Again, you got that negative space detail, and then the intercoolers, the chillers, whatever they're called, that were on the original one on the inside of the struts are there as well, represented nicely. A little bit darker gray. Now the nacelles themselves, they don't really glow as much as other Eaglemoss ships do. They're a little more of a... They're a different material. They're not as see-through or glowy. If you look at them here, this one on this side is a little bit darker plastic than this one. Might be hard to see, but yeah, the port nacelle has a little bit darker, less see-through Bizarre Collector than on the other side. The same thing happened with the original TOS one. The XL ship from Eaglemoss had the same thing. The plastic was a little bit different on each side, which looks odd, but it is what it is. But looking at the Bizarre Collectors, you got the nice wraparound elements that kind of... that's actually a nice added touch that the TOS one doesn't have. Those side things, much like the NX-01. So that's fine. The bottom has a lot of details. A lot going on there. The top also, you can see like where a navigation light would be, and then some raised elements. Then you got this ring right here, which is great. On the TOS one, it is actually pushed up here to where the Bizarre Collector is, so I can see that as being like an early developmental stage. That's cool. But yeah, moving to the outside of the nacelle, you got a really nice registry number, and the pennant looks really great there, and some Aztecing as well. So you got a little under fin and the 2 upper fins as well, the intercoolers. I think those are the intercoolers. And then the back, the nacelle caps are very pointy, but I like it. I like the way that they look from the back as well, with all the little holes, because we had that originally before we got the half sphere of the production TOS Enterprise. So that's nice. That leads into like the one that's on Where No Man Has Gone Before, the second pilot episode. So, and the inside of the grills or the nacelles are really nice. A nice blue coloring for the warp chillers there, and just looks really good. I do like the shape of the nacelles. I think they're very nice. I think the whole ship is really nice. It's a perfectly reimagined Enterprise. It's just not Prime, especially at twice the size of the original. It's just a thing I can't get over, and I'm sorry. But anyway, that is it. We're going to go take a look at it on the stand right now, and you guys can determine whether this is something you want to pick up from Eaglemoss. If you do, just click the link down below. There's an affiliate link in the description of every video to Eaglemoss. Click that. That way they know the traffic is coming from Eaglemoss, and use the discount code Trekyards10 to save yourself some money when you pick this or anything else up from Eaglemoss. So anyway, let's head on over to the stand where no stand has gone before. Alright, so here she is on the stand and on the turntable. You can see the attachment points there for the stand, which is rather bulky actually. It's one of the issues I have with the Eaglemoss ships. Yeah, they're see-through, but it's a little bit bulky. I know they're see-through, but I still feel like it hides a lot of the ship. This one's actually not bad compared to some of the other ones, but I think this part up here is a little too thick. But regardless. So there it is. Looking damn sexy, I gotta say. It is a fantastic design. Johnny really does good work for the most part. So now this is one of those ones you put on a lower shelf. It looks fantastic. Looks really good. Put it on an eye level shelf, again, it's just got a nice stance to it. Pretty much every view of this thing from on an eye level shelf would be acceptable, and just really nice for a display piece. Stuff like that, depending on how high your shelf is, right? If you go to an upper shelf, again, it displays really nice from an upper shelf. You got some nice details on the bottom there, so whatever way you want to display this thing, you're golden. So, yeah, but there you have it, the reimagined Disco Prize from Discovery, which we'll probably be seeing in Strange New Worlds. Now, there might be some changes to the overall design for Strange New Worlds. We're not 100% sure yet, but it'd be nice to see some changes. But otherwise, it's a great ship. I have no complaints with it, except it's just not Prime. It's that simple. Fight me in the comments if you really want, but I know they say it's Prime, so therefore it is, but it's clearly not. Anyway, that's a losing battle, because, you know, they say it's Prime, so. Anyway, that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. If you want to check out other ones, like I said, I will put up a link to the XL version of this ship right there. And please like the video, subscribe to this channel and the Captain Foley personal channel as well. And I'll see you guys in the future. Boldly go, guys.